Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of LegalEx Live. LegalEx Live is a show that seeks the opinion of seasoned legal professionals about the current legal landscape in the Philippines and how it should be and does affect everyday life and the everyday Filipino. To support me empowering, let me introduce my co-host for today, the main founder of LegalEx, JP Lazatin, and of course, attorney Gino Jacinto. And of course, for this episode, we have an amazing woman. So, guys, I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, and I hope you both are well. I know it's been a challenging couple of months, but at least we're still able to empower others through our LegalEx live show. So, speaking of that, let me introduce our amazing host. We have a mom, YLEO educator, business mentor, community builder, a podcaster, and of course, a lawyer. So without further ado, let me introduce Attorney Tina de Guzman to our guests. Hi, Tina. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. How are you, JP and Mafe?
We're doing well. Thank you for joining us for this episode. We are always looking for inspiring individuals that can share about the legal aspect of their journey, becoming a lawyer, becoming just an empowered individual for the Filipinos. So perhaps maybe apart from what I've already shared, can you share a little bit of a background, more detailed about yourself so that our audience can get to know you more?
Thank you, Mafe and JP. Hi, I'm Tina. I am a mom to two kids. I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I am a lawyer. I'm a proud product of the Philippine public education system. As in, I have never been in a private school. So those who are envisioning of being lawyers someday, you can do it, guys. I came from Manila Science High School, and UP all the way, UP Diliman all the way. And then after graduating, I have worked in government. The longest office that I've been with was the Malacanang. I was with the Presidential Anti-Graft Commission. And then I went into international development and I was there for about a decade. So I was implementing a lot of judicial reform projects. So I was working a lot with the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, with the Supreme Court, and then international donors. So that had been my line of work. And now I am a mompreneur or a mommy entrepreneur. I have had several startups. And now my main hustle is I am an educator on essential oil use. And I have thousands of team builders whom I am mentoring on how to build their businesses as well. And then I started several online communities. I have Fit Moms Project PH. So that's a safe space for women who would like to transition into healthier lifestyle. And then I have Pinay Girl Boss, which is a community of women who are looking for side hustles or who want to build their skill sets or start a business. And we also have a podcast under Pinay Girl Boss. So that's what I've been doing.
Yes. JP, isn't she amazing?
Wow, you've been a very busy attorney. My gosh, I just want to first off, congrats. It seems like you really have a well-established career and you've been through many different sectors. I know a lot of people, a lot of lawyers, are only stuck in one sector. They're only stuck in the government. They're stuck in the energy. But with you, it seems like you really got to go and see the journey through a lot of different perspectives.
Mm-hmm. I'm lucky
Yeah,
and
yeah,
also adventurous.
yeah, definitely. I don't.
Right.
I definitely think you have to in order to get to where you are. You definitely have to be adventurous, and also, based on my conversation with you, short, you're really courageous as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, go
Super.
getter. Let's do
Yes,
this, guys.
yes, yeah. I love that.
To be. I mean, this is a time where you can actually reach out to mentors like you or even JP on how you can learn more, right? I always tell
Right.
JP this is my closest way of learning from lawyers and getting my law degree. without having going to college for
To law
it.
school. Oh yeah, I agree with that, Mafe. You learn a lot of things just from being present and saying yes to opportunities, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not a businesswoman. I've never been in business school. I don't know sales, but that's where I am right now, and it's
Yes.
thriving.
Super. And I've seen you in action. I mean, speaking of, going back into your first, I want to say passion or your first career, which is being a lawyer, right? Are you
Hmm.
able to share with us what was your interest with that first? Like, what did it
How I got
start?
into it.
Yes.
You know what? I think one of the reasons why I was into it was the show Ali McBeal. That was what 90s, I think. Do you know
Yeah.
that, JP? I don't know if that's your
Yes.
generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. That.
I'm
Well,
dating myself right now.
yeah. I
All
never
right.
watched the show myself, but I definitely did see clips of it. It was a very popular show on Fox. How long did it last for? I believe.
A long time,
Yeah.
probably
Right.
8 years, maybe. I'm not sure, but that's one of it.
Yeah.
Also, my father wanted me to be a lawyer. It
Mhm.
was, I think in my generation, it was either you become a doctor or a lawyer. And
Yes.
I am afraid of blood and
Mhm.
injection until now. So despite having two kids, I'm still afraid of
Yeah.
needles. And
Mhm.
so being a doctor is not in the cards for me. So yeah, I'm gonna be a lawyer. And
Mhm.
I do enjoy it. I think I'm good at it. It's
Mhm.
not difficult for me. I've always been studious. I'm not a sports person like Mafe. I'm not very athletic.
Yeah.
I don't know how to ride a bike except for the spinning bike at the
Mhm.
gym. So I'm not very physically active, but I would be reading a lot of books. So that side of it, I was also very competitive in school. I was valedictorian. Um, I, I I was accelerated. I took my grade school for just 5 years. So it was really like education is really my was my jam. So it wasn't a
Yeah.
difficult decision.
Mhm.
And from so I finished my undergrad in 3.5 years in UP Diliman, and it was philosophy. So obviously the direction was really law. The BAP
Yeah.
Mhm.
philosophy is popular as a pre-law course, and all that logic and stuff like that. And then immediately I took two tests. I took the LAE, the Law Admissions Exam,
Mhm.
with UP, University of the Philippines, and Ateneo. But of course, I came from UP. So the first results that came out was from UP, and wala na, I did not wait for the results from the other school. So right after graduating, I went to UP Law. So
Mhm.
that was straight out. That was really the career. And then I was working. Um, I didn't come from money, and so I was really working as a student assistant even during undergrad. So I
Oh,
was
wow.
always constantly looking for work, and I was a research assistant. Both when I was in philosophy and during law school, and then continuously I was working with the government until I ended up being executive director at the presidential commission. So that was it until I found my way to international development career.
Wow. Wow.
So
Since you were,
I like sharing that because, coming from really humble beginnings, it's
Yeah.
really possible. Look for opportunities like scholarships. Look for ways to fund your education, and that's the beautiful thing here in the Philippines because we have good public education.
Mhm.
okay, wow. Wow. Um, I just wanted, since we're gonna talk about, you talked about your career in college. I would love to for you to share a message to all the aspiring lawyers out there, because I know the bar exam is one of the hardest exams in the Philippines. I believe it has one of the lowest pass rate in the Philippines. So I just want to know, how did you get through that? Was there any tips that you could offer to all the aspiring lawyers out there?
Yeah. Okay, my parents were very strict, so I didn't
Oh,
really go out a lot. So there
mhm.
was no choice. And also, I was studious, so I was really just, I guess it there was preparation. Like from the beginning, I was always studying. So medyo nerd story, but yeah, I was really just, I guess I was prepared for it because the mindset was there. So mindset is really important. And up to now, Matthew knows this. We do a lot of mindset workshops in my team because I really believe that if you set a goal, that's like maybe 80%, 90% of the battle, because even if you have all the preparation, maybe you have the brains for it, but then your mindset is not in it, then you're not going to be able to succeed in that. So for me, mindset was a major thing because I had a lot of difficulties, I had struggles, I didn't have a lot of resources, but together with my parents, like my mom would always be looking for scholarship opportunities. So it was a team for us.
Yeah, yeah.
In my generation, we didn't have, not a lot of people had help, like helpers at home. And so my batch, we would be doing a lot of house chores.
Wow. Okay.
And so it's a teamwork at home because if I have an exam, I'm excused. If I'm
Yeah.
studying, I'm
Yeah.
excused. So my parents
Yeah.
excuse me. So that's also a factor. So maybe setting the goal, knowing what you're going for, and then putting in the work. That's the whole combination that made it work for me.
No, oh, definitely. I definitely do agree with that. I mean, you definitely do need teamwork. Like as you said, you had the support of your whole family to help you out, and that's a really great story, And also want to talk about. It seems like one of your strengths is time management, because it seems like you were always doing multiple things at one time. Like you said, while you
Uh-huh.
were undergrad, you were also working, and right now you're a mom and you have a family, but you're still a successful entrepreneur. So, what is it about time management that you say is important, and how do you accomplish that?
Okay, so I always thought that multitasking was the key, was
Okay.
the answer until recently. Of course, out of all the lessons and all the coaching that I've been exposed to, I found out that multitasking is not the key because that's
Um,
going to make your brain like scrambled eggs and like you're all over the place, right? So what you do is batching. Now I'm a fan of
Actually,
batching. You
okay.
batch your work, so all of my entrepreneurial work will be set to a specific day and time so that my mindset is there. I'm ready, I'm in the zone, I'm writing, I'm creative, etc. And then I have time that's set aside for parenting. So there you are able to set your boundaries that okay, and also people around me know that okay, this is bedtime for her kids and you won't
Okay.
be able to reach Tina because she's putting her kids to bed. So that way, everyone around me also knows
Mm.
my work schedule. And then it's also very effective for me because then my brain is not going all over the place. But I also would like to emphasize again teamwork and accepting help where it's needed or
Mm.
hiring help where it's needed because we can't be everything to everyone all the time. So
Mm.
I am really, I'm very honest about this. I do have help at home, and I'm very grateful that that is my situation because I can't do everything, and I just have to accept that there are certain things that I cannot do. In the beginning of this lockdown, I was one of those who were very hands on with the cooking. And I love cooking. I'm Kapampangan, so I love cooking. Um, Baking is also one of my bonding activities with the kids. But then the business really took off, and then online schooling is also happening. And so I accepted that I cannot be cooking because I have to work and do a
Yeah.
lot of things. And so, I had to adapt and just, accept that I need help. And so
Yeah.
you get all the help that you can, not just from helpers, everyone around you, including your parents, the grandparents will of course help if they would love to cook for you and be there for the kids. So there's help everywhere, and be gracious to accept where there is an offer for help.
Okay. Wow. So just I don't want to get sidetracked, but I heard you say you were Kapampangan. Did you grow up in Pampanga or?
I didn't, but both my parents are Kapampangan, and so
Mhm.
they speak Kapampangan at home. They cook
Mhm.
Kapampangan food. So
Yes,
I'm 100% product
yeah,
of Kapampangan lifestyle. So
yeah,
I
definitely.
understand
Both of
Kapampangan.
us.
Yeah.
The
Are
three of
you?
us.
Well, both of my parents are
JP.
Kapampangan, but I did grow up in the States. I moved back to the Philippines
Oh,
about 6 years ago, so I've been in Pampanga for the past 6 years now.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Do you speak
yeah.
Kapampangan?
Oh no, not yet, not yet. Ditak lang.
Ditak. Okay, okay. Biasa ko.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. So in essence, you speak three languages right now, correct? English, Tagalog, and
Yes.
Kapampangan. Oh wow, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's so great
Nobody
that
can sell me.
yes, that's awesome. So obviously, I want to also talk about your career. Obviously, when you were a fresh grad as a lawyer, what geared you towards the government sector? Were you influenced by family, or is that something that just you always wanted to do?
Huh. It was a combination of, well, of course, people that I knew that paved the way for me getting there also. But also because I was working as a research assistant in UP, which is government. And
Mm.
I was with the Commission on Human Rights. So
Oh
that
wow.
was kind of the direction already. The
Yeah.
research assistant work was also legal. So I was drafting a lot of research materials, decisions, things like that. So it was an easy path for me,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it. There
Yeah.
was a lot of leadership work as well. So I stayed there because I was excelling in it. I enjoyed the work there.
Okay. Perfect. So how did you make that transition from justice to entrepreneurship? Like, what is the one reasons why you make that transition, and how did it work for you?
Okay, I think motherhood has a lot to do with that.
Mhm.
I got in my most successful business venture is, of course, the Young Living business, essential oils, and I got into that because I'm a mother, and
Mhm.
my friend introduced it to me. Also, a lawyer, by the way,
Mhm.
and it was because we bonded as mothers, and we always want the best for our kids. So I got into this circle of moms who are interested in toxin free lifestyle, in
Okay.
choosing organic and natural. And so my other business was Fluffy Pwets cloth diapers. I was the
Okay.
first to introduce in the Philippines this special kind of cloth diaper that you can reuse and
Oh,
wash, and it's not gonna fill the landfills, etc. And so we're that kind of crunchy mamas in the Philippines.
mhm.
And the reason why I said yes to that business, at the time, it was just my side hustle. I said yes to it because as a mom, I have dreams for my kids, of course. Short term is that I want to be able to give them the best experiences, the best education. And I love Disneyland. So one of my whys was to be able to bring my kids to Disneyland every year, kahit
Mhm.
Hong Kong lang, malapit lang,
Yeah.
Southeast Asia, not
Yeah.
too expensive, but at least to be able to bring them to experience the world. And of course, the Philippines, I always bring them when I travel. And that's going to cost, right?
Yeah.
Because I have to pay for airfare, etc. And so as a mom, I would always be looking for extra sources of income. And so side hustles, extra businesses were my thing. And so
Mhm.
I got started in that while I was still employed. And then it took off until such time that it was paying 5 to 8 times my salary. And
Mhm.
I said, okay, this kind of income is enough for me to start building my retirement fund, to start building my
Mhm.
kids' college fund. And this means I can be free to explore other businesses or quit the security of that day job. And here I am right now.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That brings me to my next question. How has a lawyer helped you become an entrepreneur?
Okay. You know, um, I get this question or a variation of this question a lot. And it does play a big deal because
Mhm.
being a lawyer means that I have the skills to understand the environment that I would be entering. I can understand policies and procedures. I can be strategic in my business plans. I can talk to people. I can speak Tagalog. I can talk to all kinds of people. I can be diplomatic. Also, I think the 10-year experience in international development help with that as well.
Yeah,
So I can keep my cool
yeah,
if there
yeah.
is conflict. And then also, this is very important for those who are in startups, for those who are in SMEs, small and medium scale enterprises. Sometimes we don't understand that we will be entering into legal situations, contracts. We enter into legal situations every day and maybe we don't realize it. Like
Mm,
contracts, or we may be infringing on copyright already, or we may be needing to protect our original artwork or something. So there are a lot of legal concepts every day that maybe we don't know. So
yes, yes.
that knowledge is so important. And so that's why I'm so interested to be here today and to find out that LegalX is available
Yeah.
for those who might need legal advice and not know it. So I know that there's this barrier to the legal world, and of course, if you're just starting out, then maybe the budget is tight. And I've been there, I have to scrimp on a lot of things. I cannot hire a virtual assistant. I cannot hire extra staff to do certain things for me. So, let alone hire a lawyer. And so,
Yeah.
having that knowledge with me is really helpful because I know how to protect myself. I know the things that like I have to register for something. I have to pay taxes. So things like that, that's really very helpful.
Wow. Very wise words. Because to be honest, I've been, talking with a lot of lawyers since I've got into LegalX. I feel like the lawyers are one of the most underappreciated professions in the Philippines. Because I know a lot of people, they really want to Google. When they have a legal question, they'll try to look at Google, and I always try to tell people, that's not the right way to do it. There's a reason why these lawyers study so hard, that they study every day, is because you really need legal advice. It's very
Mm-hmm.
valuable. I feel like a lot of people aren't really appreciating it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think also for doctors, people go to Google a lot, and
Yes,
so
yes,
I think these professions are really, because of Google.
yeah,
I'm guilty of that as well. I mean, Doctor Google. I'm just gonna
yeah,
Google.
yeah,
But of course, there's no beating consulting a professional who had
yeah.
years of training.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Um, do you feel like there's a certain pattern or formula to be successful in two different fields?
No formula for me, but there are certain elements that I would highlight. Like you said, being courageous. And,
Mm,
when I mentor people in my community, I would say go for it. Start scared, start before
mhm,
you're ready. Because, perfectionism is a thing. Sorry,
mhm.
that's perfectionism is a thing. I think a lot of people would like to be prepared and perfect before they start anything, but then maybe that you would end up not even beginning anything at all, right? So of course you have to prepare, but mindset and the heart, the grit, that makes up a big part of doing and exploring anything new. Also, you have to put in the hard work with anything. Mindset can only get you somewhere, but if you
Mhm.
don't put in the work, you don't study, you don't get the skills that you need, then it's not gonna work out. And then of course, run with runners, run with people who have the same mindset as you.
Yeah.
You collaborate with like-minded individuals. I've collaborated with Mafe because we
Mhm.
see eye to eye, we have the same vision, so you find those people who understand you and who can contribute to what you're trying to do. And then you also, as a person, I'm sure you can contribute. So it's collaboration. There's a lot of things that people can accomplish as a community. Um, and yeah, so there's no single formula. A lot of people have become successful coming from different backgrounds, coming from different skill sets, but those elements of being courageous, being really industrious and putting in the work, and collaborating and being a team member, a good team member, those are the key things that I found to be very helpful for my communities.
Wow. Okay. I know that you've had a number of businesses. What are you working on right now? What's your main business or main hustle?
Okay. So I am a mentor
Mhm.
in my essential oils community. So I do a lot of education on how to use essential oils, especially now. It's very timely. So how to use essential oils to help boost the immune system, make our bodies less susceptible to whatever foreign invasion there might be. And we use essential oils a lot also for stress relief. I am such an advocate of self care and self love. And so we have to make sure that our emotions are supported as well. And so I do that kind of education. I do mentorship as well for my team members who are interested to build their essential oil business.
Mhm.
What else? So that's the essential oil part. I have Fit Moms Project, which is more of an advocacy than a business. It
Okay.
is a platform for people to talk about positive body image, to talk
Mhm.
about cute active wear, to talk about dance classes and hit workouts, etc. So that's that space for that. And then Pinay Girl Boss is a developing business as well. It is a community for people who are maybe looking for virtual assistants, or maybe virtual assistants who want to learn from people who already have the skills. So that's a community where we have a lot of experts talk for free. So we've had Instagram classes. We've had a class on journey to debt free living. So we have a lot of women who are sharing their expertise for free, and
Okay.
we've also had paid sessions which are really specific and more in depth and more intimate for those who want advanced coaching. So we do that for for specific people with very specific goals for their organization.
Okay.
So we also have a podcast where we feature inspiring individuals and stories, so that people can, those who are interested in becoming the boss of their own lives, then they will hear stories about people who maybe started a whole new industry where it did not exist before,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
maybe a person who used to not afford Starbucks, to
Mhm.
now owning several condo units because of hard work. So there's so many. There's inspiration everywhere, and you can hopefully you can find that in
Yeah.
Pinay Girl Boss.
Yeah. I just had a question. You talked about these communities. How does someone join that community, like the Fit Mom, and the Pinay Girl Boss? How does someone join those communities?
It's free, it's open. We have Facebook groups. Just look
Facebook
for
group.
it, or go to my Instagram profile. It's tinadg.com,
Mhm.
and all the links are there. So it's
Okay.
free. There's no requirement. You don't have to pay for anything. It's free. The classes are free. Just engage. If you have something to contribute as well, you are welcome to reach out to me. And if you want to speak in our community, you are welcome.
Okay. And then what about your essential oils business? How does someone get into that? Do they reach out to you as well? Email or?
Yes. Yes, my
Okay.
Instagram is public, so anyone can just message me there.
Mhm.
Um, and for that, we have a lot of free classes. Like if you just
Oh, okay.
want to learn, no commitment, you just want to learn how do these people use essential oils, then you are welcome to join our free classes. We also help with membership if you would like to get your essential oils at a discount. And if you want mentorship, then you get that through membership, and we help with that as well.
Okay, and I guess the last thing I want to talk about is your podcast. Could you talk about how many times a week or month you do this, and is it you or do you have any guests?
Yes. Okay. So, Pinay Girl Boss as a podcast is a
Oh,
project
okay.
between me and my partner Max Mendoza,
Mhm,
who is a Pinay Girl Boss based in Saudi Arabia. So,
mhm,
we the first season is out. So that one focused more on people with who are trailblazers in their own fields, and
mhm.
for that we focused on inspiring and also
Yeah.
providing free resources. So all of our guests provided discounts or free resources for the listeners. And then season two is coming out super soon, and it's going to be more regular, and it's going to be a lot of how to's. So
Okay.
you can find that on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts.
Wow. Wow.
Or
Thanks
check
again.
out pinaygirlboss.com. You can also listen there if you're not subscribed to Spotify.
Wow. Thanks again, attorney. I feel like you're really providing a lot of valuable information, which is free
Mhm.
to others.
Yes,
I think
that's
that's
the goal. Free.
yeah. Yeah, it's all about encouraging and motivating people out there to, hopefully be in your position one day.
Mhm.
Yes, and I think it's very timely to be
Mhm,
able to serve this way. Yes, we do invest in terms of time and production and putting the word out there, but we also learn so much from our guests. And we're
mhm,
so grateful for people who are so selfless with their expertise and their time. And when we ask them, can you be a guest to the podcast or to the Pinay Girl Boss Facebook community? And they're like, yeah, sure. And
Mhm.
so you can really find a lot of experts who are just so willing to share. And I love
mhm,
that because we're in a time of, I've been saying this a lot lately, that we were always told save up for a rainy day, and
mhm,
we have been a year into the rainy
mhm,
day. This is the rainy day. And so if you have means to support those who are looking for ways to thrive and survive in this time, then you are so welcome. Let's work together so
mhm,
that we can help each other out. And I was telling, we were talking about this, guys. Are you in Clubhouse? Let's talk on Clubhouse.
mhm,
We've had this session on financial literacy and spending in the pandemic, and a lot of people were there, and a lot of people want to talk about how prepared they are, or how they are coping, or maybe how troubled they are. So there is that space to talk about that. And of course, a lot of industries are affected, a lot of businesses have folded up. And so having knowing that if you have the skills, or if you don't have the skills yet, learn the skills. Hindi ka magugutom in this time. Just, reach out, learn new things, and be coachable. Be ready to learn from people who are offering help, right? And, you're not boxed. I guess this is the one thing that I would like to share. You're not boxed to the industry that you've been stuck to for the past 10 years. You can reinvent yourself, you can explore new things, and you can be a lawyer and still do other things. You can be so many other things. You can be a doctor. We have so many doctors in the community who are also business owners. So
mhm.
you're not boxed in just one scenario. You can do a lot of things that you put your mind into.
Wow.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you see? She's amazing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thank you, Tina. You have shared so much to our viewers. Just being the girl boss and mompreneur that you are, and at the same time having the attorney title under your belt. It just really goes to show that anything is possible in our lives as long as we get what we want. Do your research, do your mentorship. There's so many people out there like yourself and JP who is
Mhm,
providing free education, free podcasts. All you have to do is take action and listen,
mhm,
and take down notes, and then whatever you absorb is what is going to really help you survive in this lifetime, including what we are providing on LegalEx Live and the app. So like what Tina shared with us today, you can become a businesswoman, you can become a businessman, as long as you are able to really have the courage. And I think that was the number one take home for me is
Yeah.
always have courage to strive for what you want. No one will hand it over to you. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you put in the hard work, just like what Tina said earlier, that even if you couldn't afford that coffee, and now after all the time that you put in, can have multiple properties, having experience, like going to Disneyland every year with your children. I'm in awe. JP, do you have anything else
No,
to
no, I have
share?
nothing to add to that. I just last thing I want to say is LegalEx is now available to download on iOS and Android. So everybody just take advantage of this app where you could connect to lawyers, brilliant lawyers just like attorney, and that's it for me.
Yeah.
I think my community would love to hear what LegalEx is all about. So if you would like to come guest in our community as well, so let's
Yeah.
work together. But this is an avenue, right, to get legal help at minimal expense, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. Yes. It's
Okay,
it's all about it's
so
about minimal expense and also accessibility. So you'll be able to use the app anywhere you want, whether it's your home. You don't actually have to visit the lawyer yourself. All you have to do is open the app, connect to a lawyer, and that's it.
Yeah.
okay. I love the idea. It's a tech startup
Yes.
and legal. So okay, I'm sold. And
Okay.
also being a being an entrepreneur, I know that there are a lot of legal questions that people should be asking, and so having this platform would be really helpful. So guys, don't hesitate to ask if there are
Okay.
questions, because rather than going and pursuing your business and then taking care of the legal questions later where it might be too late,
Mhm.
do that already. If there is that need, then reach out and ask your questions. So I love that what you're doing, JP. So please come guest also in my show. O, di ba nag-invite ako?
Yeah. Perfect.
This is exactly the perfect example of collaboration over competition. So thank you, everyone. I know that JP and Tina will have so many inspiring events and other probably shows. So with that, guys, I know we can talk offline for the future collaboration. So thank you, everyone on Kumu and Facebook for tuning in,
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify. Thank you guys for the continued support, and we'll see you in our next episode of Legal X Live.
And
See you
Tina,
later, guys.
Nakala salamat. Sorry.
Bye
Sorry.
bye.
Wapin, wapin.
Okay, bye.